My name is Brad Hartog. I'm running for Freeport Township Assessor. I'd like to start off by thanking Chamber for hosting this event, as well as Terry Musser and Jim Bug Events for agreeing to moderate. I'm a third generation and lifelong Freeport resident. I graduated from Freeport High School and Highland College. I met my wife of 19 years here, and we're raising our family here. I work for a local community bank here in Freeport, and my wife and I are active members of Hartog Church. I have no plans to leave Freeport, and I want to see Freeport succeed. I'm all in for Freeport. I'm an Illinois certified real estate appraiser and the only appraiser in Stevens County with a senior appraiser designation. I currently serve as the chairman on the Stevens County Board of Property Tax Assessment Appeal, and my experiences on the board of review are what sparked my interest in running for the Township Assessor office. As I saw many of the appeals that went before the board, it became clear to me that fundamental change was needed in the assessor's office. I decided that the taxpayers needed to have a better representative in the assessor's office, and as I've gone door to door throughout Freeport, I've heard from hundreds of homeowners who also believe that change is long overdue. Tonight, I hope to lay out my plan for reform in the office, and if elected assessor, the office will be more efficient and more taxpayer friendly. I appreciate your vote. Thank you.
And now, Mayor Ridgway.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone who has made this event possible. My name is Maida Ridgway. I have lived in Freeport since 1990. I'm married to Michael Ridgway, who's a lifer in Freeport. We have 3 children who are all graduates of Freeport High School and one of HCC. I volunteer and supervise a after-school program for local youth. Between Stevenson County and Freeport Township, I have 27 years of experience in property assessments. I hold a CIAOI designation through the state, and I have continued my education annually since 1989. There has been some talk that I have been a hand-picked candidate to fill this position, but let me reassure you that I am the one that decided to run for this position.
For individual questions, each candidate will be given a minute and a half to share their thoughts. We're going to start off with our debate questions. Our first question, this will be 3 minutes to Maida Ridgway, and then 2 minutes to Mr. Hartog, and then 1 minute back to you, Ms. Ridgway. What is a fair and accurate property assessment? I apologize. I'll read each question twice to make sure everyone understands, and hopefully, as long as our PowerPoint continues to work, we'll have them up on the side over here. What is a fair and accurate property assessment? You have 3 minutes.
A fair and equity property assessment is, not only is the assessor's responsible to value properties at 1/3 of market value, but we also have to value them equitably between properties. So we're looking at all the sales that have occurred, all the arm's length sales, and we look at different story types, we look at different locations, different amenities. We're analyzing the market data so that we can look at the range of the sales of similar properties, find the middle ground, and then apply that equitably between similar properties. One way that we can measure how well we're doing that is by the sales ratio study. And the state states that we need to be less than 30 COD. And we have accomplished that. Since I've been in that office, we have always been under 30.
I would agree with her process, the way she described the process and procedure for analyzing properties to arrive at fair market value, and then also therefore determine the assessed value, which by state statute is 1/3 of market value. And yes, they do use sales ratio studies to determine that. However, where I think the assessor's office is lacking is I've gone a step further, and I've FOIA'd some further sales ratio studies by neighborhoods in Freeport, and I found that certain neighborhoods are being overvalued by as much as 20%, and that coefficient of dispersion she mentioned, the COD, is far above 30 in some neighborhoods. We're talking actually over 100 in even some neighborhoods. So I think some neighborhoods deserve a harder look than what they're receiving instead of looking at Freeport as a whole. And I think one of the areas, one of the things you first learn, whether you're assessing or appraising, is to identify your market or delineate your neighborhoods. And I think that needs some further look in our assessor's office.
One of the issues that we have to deal with is the state does this 3-year sales ratio study. And in that, they determine how much reassessment we are allowed annually. And so we're held to a dollar amount of how much reassessment we can do each year. And that's based annually on their 3-year sales ratio study.
Our next question will be to you, Brad. What will be the most critical issues for our new township assessor? What will be the most critical issues for our new township assessor?
I think the first step, assuming I would take office, my first order of business would be to reestablish our relationship with the county assessor. I think by doing that, we can collaborate and share data, provide more efficiencies where we can save the taxpayers money and provide more accurate assessments. And actually, I'm proud to announce tonight that Ron Kane, the Chief County Assessing Officer for Stevenson County, has endorsed me in my campaign. And he and I both agree that it is important that we find ways to save money, find efficiencies, and collaborate and share data and get on the same page with software technology.
I have no problem working with other governmental bodies. We have been doing that. As far as changing software programs, the county pays an absorbent amount for software. We have a program that has been, our systems have been updated to Windows 10 just this past year. Our valuation program is owned by Freeport Township. It continues to be tailored to fit the needs of the office, allowing for analyzing of all different types of market data to ensure property assessments are derived from the market while staying fair and equitable to similar properties. Our program works. We're falling in line for the sales ratio at below the recommended levels of the state.
The Stevenson County Assessor does pay a large amount for their software. It's called DevNet, and it costs them about $40,000 a year. However, that $40,000 also includes the county treasurer, the county clerk, and county recorder's office. I actually have a quote here from that company. The first year to transition the Township Assessor's software from their current system, which is developed in the 1980s, the software we're talking about, and it's obsolete and unsupported. We could actually upgrade that the first year for $14,000, and it's only $2,500 a year thereafter.
Our next question is going to start with you, Maida. What is the role of Township Assessor in relationship to growing and developing our economy? What is the role of Township Assessor in relationship to growing and developing our economy?
Well, I'm excited about economic development. Freeport needs new businesses and jobs, as well as helping current businesses thrive. The Assessor's Office has and will continue to assist the organizations such as City of Freeport, NIDA, prospective buyers, and others by providing them with estimated values of prospective buildings based on sales of similar properties. That said, the Township Assessor's job is to value properties based on market value, being equitable with similar properties. We cannot offer exemptions or incentives. That's not our job.
I think there's a lot of room for improvement for economic development within the assessor's office. Demand for real estate and to create increased values comes from jobs, income, growth, and people's expectations. And I think one of the ways to obviously spur that would be to encourage economic development, and those other components would come along with it. Unfortunately, the township office hasn't been very, according to many of the business people I talked to in the community, hasn't been very friendly towards business. And there are some examples I could give. One out on a business out on Lamb Road that purchased a building for a little over $3 million, and it's in the TIF district, and that company invested $1.5 million back into that building, and hasn't generated any TIF money because it hasn't, their assessment hasn't increased. So I think our business climate hasn't been the most friendly, and businesses like consistency and have their expectations be more confident in their expectations of what they can get, so it hasn't been very friendly to future developers.
Before we can make any changes in the assessed value, we have to have data to back that up. Now, someone can go in and over-improve a property, but unless we have the data that shows it's worth more, we cannot change the value to increase it based on what it costs them to do any improvements they saw. We are always following the market. We're always looking at it to see what changes are occurring, where we have to make adjustments. Thank you.
Our next question will be the last of the debate-style questions, and then we'll move on to individual questions. How can the assessor's office become more efficient with taxpayer money? How can the assessor's office become more efficient with taxpayer money?
Well, for example, if you compare the township assessor's current budget to the county's current budget, and the number of parcels that the township is responsible for assessing versus the number of parcels that the county is responsible for assessing, the township is currently assessing properties or parcels at nearly half the cost of what the township is. So I think one of the ways we can improve upon efficiency and costs would be to, like I said, collaborate with Stevenson County Assessor and bring some of those costs down. Second would be to improve our technology and upgrade the software that the assessor's office currently uses. Third would be to eliminate half-day Fridays. You know, right now our township assessor's office is only open less than 40 hours a week. I've called around to Joe Davis County, Carroll County, Ogle County, Winnebago County, Rockford Township, and Stevenson County. And all of those offices are fully staffed and are open more than 40 hours a week. So I think certainly we can find some efficiencies by doing those things, and also along with that bringing values down to more accurate numbers.
As far as the hours go, we work 37 and a half hours a week. We found that when we have properties we feel that have conditional issues, we'll send a letter out and ask people to let us come through so that we can make notations and we have information to back us up if we have to make adjustments due to condition. By doing that, we found that instead of working from 8 to 4 Monday through Friday, if we went and worked from 7:30 till 4, we were available earlier in the morning. Our total hours haven't changed. It's just the office hours during the week changed so that we could be more available to the citizens of Freeport. As far as the number of parcels between the county and the township, we have 55% of commercial. We have 54% of industrial. And we have 53% of residential. The only one that the county has that's more is railroad and farmland. We only have 0.0056% of farmland. So we have the majority of the buildings within Stevenson County that we value. Our program, again, has been updated. It continues to be modified so that we can follow the market and we can provide Freeport Township with fair and accurate assessments.
The numbers I was referencing, the county has 15,781 parcels. That's not including any exempt parcels. The township has 10,500 parcels, excluding their exempt parcels. So the math, if you do it, is the county's doing their parcels for $12.81 per parcel. The township is $22.89 per parcel. The county has 804 commercial properties, whereas the township does have slightly more at 977. And the county does have 3 of the largest commercial properties in the county, which would be Kelly Springfield, the Newell warehouse, and the Atkins Energy Plant. So they have 3 of the largest commercial buildings or properties to assess.
Thank you. That concludes the debate portion. We're going to go on to individual questions. We will take turns with who starts for each question. Maida, you'll go ahead and begin with this first individual question, and you'll have a minute and a half to respond. Please discuss a specific accomplishment you've achieved in a previous position that indicates you will thrive in this position. Please discuss a specific accomplishment you've achieved in a previous position that indicates you will thrive in this position.
In a previous position to where I am currently?
Anything from today backward.
Okay, thank you. I am currently the Chief Deputy Assessor for the Freeport Township Assessor's Office. I have been involved in valuing the properties in Freeport to ensure they are fair and accurate and equitable. I have also been involved in overseeing the staff and educating the staff. I've assisted with the budget. I sit in for the current township assessor at the township meetings when she can't be present. Yeah, I have filled in for her. If she's not in the office, then I take over. And I have to answer to that if any decisions I make. So I think I'm well qualified to fill this slot.
Brad, same question. Discuss a specific accomplishment you've achieved in a previous position that indicates you will thrive in this position.
As I mentioned, I'm a graduate of Highland Community College with a business degree. Nearly 20 years ago, I'm just going back decades here, I'll just use an early example. Nearly 20 years ago, I worked for a large transportation company that had over 400 trucks. They hired me as a parts manager, and within a short amount of time, they promoted me to a shop foreman overseeing over a dozen mechanics. And also I had to answer phone calls anytime those trucks broke down on the road. I would have to take those phone calls and get those trucks back on the road somehow. So at a very young age, they saw leadership quality in me and promoted me rather quickly. And in fact, most jobs I've had, I've been promoted rather quickly. And in fact, George Gullrath promoted me to the Water and Sewer Commission back in 2010.
What is one characteristic that you believe every leader should possess? What is one characteristic that you believe every leader should possess?
Well, I guess the first characteristic that comes to mind would be character and integrity. I believe my reputation has been impeccable. I'm sure there's many other qualities that go along with that. I work for a local community bank. I've worked there for a little over 2 years now. I've also been sit on the general board of my church for two 3-year terms, overseeing their budget. So I think I've led many people in different regards.
Thank you. Maida, what is one characteristic that you believe every leader should possess?
Well, I think there's more than one, but integrity, honesty, and compassion. I think as a public servant, you need to have those. You need to be compassionate to the property owners, the taxpayers, their situations that they're going through. Yes, we have to value the property based on market value, but you can still have the compassion for people to understand their situations and help them, get to the facilities they need or the offices they need to go to get help.
Maida, what is the one thing you think many people don't know about the role of the assessor or the assessor's office that you want to share? What is the one thing you think many people don't know about the role of the assessor or the assessor's office that you want to share?
That we don't actually figure your tax bill. We are a part of it, but it starts with us. We value the properties based on what we see occurring in the market.
State value in particular, you're really talking about an opinion. When a house sells, that price is a fact. What that house sold for is a fact. But anytime you're talking about value, whether it's from a real estate appraiser or a real estate assessor, you're really talking about an opinion. And an opinion can have a little bit of a range in value. It's never set in stone. So I think even though it's all dependent upon how strong the data is that the assessor has to work with. Sometimes it's strong and sometimes maybe not so good.
Fred Hartog, why are you the best candidate for this position? Why are you the best candidate for this position?
I am the best candidate for this position because I am an Illinois licensed real estate appraiser. I hold a residential appraiser certification from the Chicago Appraisal Institute. I chair the Stevenson County Board of Review, and I oversee the work of the Township Assessor. I think that my leadership qualities can bring a lot of positive changes to the office that need to be made, including upgrading the technology, collaborating with the Stevenson County Assessor, increasing the efficiency by making sure our doors are open 40 hours a week, and bringing the values of properties to the hardworking homeowners of Freeport more in line with where I think they need to be in some cases.
Maida Ridgway, why are you the best candidate for this position?
I feel that my experience makes me the best candidate for this position. I have worked between the county and the Township Assessor. I worked in the field for 27 years. In 1989, I received my Certified Illinois Assessing Officer Certificate. In 97, the CIAOI. In 1999, IAAO awarded me with a Certificate of Education Recognition. I have worked in the property assessment from the ground up. I look at this opportunity as being considered a job promotion. It is the voter's decision on who will get promoted. My opponent, with 8 years of fee and review appraisals, or me with 27 years of mass appraisal.
And that will conclude the assessor's portion of tonight's event. Let's give them a round of applause.